Hey man, say man, back at y'all again. Today man with another video. Come along for another hard off adventure in the streets of Japan. We go to two different hard off stores located about 35 minutes apart. Each one of these stores has a huge selection of items. Everything from guitars to retro video games and designer handbags, shoes, and other clothing. They really did have it all. Without further ado, let's get straight into this video. Going into the doors of the first hard off, you can see that this place is massive. Immediately on the left, there was bins of 110 yen games, CDs, and different items that you could flip through. And of course, they had the console cabinets directly in front of you. Seeing loose Pokewalkers is always a treat. Looking at the larger consoles and the CIB box stuff, you have a Wii U board, 64 with the jumper pack, many different special edition consoles here. It's always nice to see a large selection on the CIB, and I am a huge fan of any ICE products like that yellow ICE Sony PS2 controller. Taking a look at the DS section, I am still trying to track down a copy of Pokemon Soul Silver, complete in box, but unfortunately today was not the day for that. Always do love seeing a copy of the Super Mario Bros. In the yellow case. Any type of colored DS or DSi case, or 3DS, excuse me, I like to go ahead and pick up. And I mean, just take a look at the wall on the loose cartridges. I mean, this is one of the largest wall selections for loose cartridges I've seen in quite some time, to be completely honest with you. GameCube didn't really have too much on this side. We need to find where the GameCube is, but that Atomic Purple is nice. Got a couple other controllers here for the GameCube. We got the Wii controllers, even some Switch accessories here, some PS3 stuff. I mean, you got the GT Force wheels up top, some flight controllers up top too. You really got to keep your eyes open and tuned when you're at a place like this, because there's always a lot to see. Anytime I go to one of these hard off stores, I feel like I wind up spending at least an hour in there, unless the prices are just overall too high. So here is their second aisle of games in their second console cabinet. Got some CIB stuff in here. Gotta love to see anything Dreamcast related. And then you got a Wavebird Game Boy Player disc for just $3K. You got the special edition 64 with the jumper pack for $22,000. That's honestly a great price. That's one that you shouldn't sleep on if you're looking for it. Got a GameCube with a mismatched color Game Boy player. Remember, anytime at a hard off store they take in something, that's exactly how they put it out. So whoever owned this GameCube previously, that's how they brought it in, with the mixed match Game Boy player. So who knows? It's always tested and guaranteed to work here at the hard off, and I've never had a problem getting anything. Even most of the time I get something out of the junk section, it tends out to work. So taking a look at the PSPs, you have that special edition pink, of course. You got the Fight controller down there as well. You got a Portal, you got a special edition Vita, and a couple different standard 1000 and 2000 model Vitas. And on this wall, you got a couple loose games here, and you have your CIB higher caliber stuff. Wow, the prices on this side are definitely kind of high. I mean, you can see that super faded copy of Fire Red for $10,000. That's about $100, and the box condition is honestly not the best on that. So let's go ahead and walk around and see what else there is to be seen in this store. Yeah, they got a lot. They got a lot. If you're into guitars, man, stick around for this part, because this is their guitar section. And you can see how far it goes on. You got electrics on your right, you got your basses on your left. All the way down this aisle you have acoustics. You also have pretty much an endless selection of different brands. They don't really stick to one particular brand. They really do have a bunch of everything. And they have a lot of high quality one-to-one replicas, if you will. A lot of brands like Bernie, one of my favorites, for example, have versions that they make of Gibson Les Pauls and Strats and other different guitars that are super high quality and really affordable. So it's always nice to see those at a good price. They have a huge selection of amps as well. I don't know if you guys noticed, but underneath this On top where all the guitars are, underneath they have amps, they have mixers, they have speaker cabinets, they have pedals. Next time I go out to Japan, I want to dedicate one of my small suitcases just for various pedals so I could set up a custom board. And right behind that they have a junk section for some of their gear. They have a camera case, there's their junk camera section, and then here in the blue bins is all junk items. Now the way the junk section works is these rubber bands indicate the price at this specific store. If it's not marked, it'll be 110 yen. Otherwise it'll be banded a certain color so that way you know what you're looking at price wise. And in the junk section they always have a little cabinet as well. Now this one had an SP, some iPods, PSPs in various colors. You can't sleep on the cabinets here in the junk section. Now don't hesitate to ask one of the workers to see the items if there's something here in the junk cabinets that you want to see, because a lot of times the defects aren't that serious. It's something kind of light, that way it's not that bad where it will actually impact the gameplay. So I went ahead and checked some stuff out, and as I was shopping around, it blew my mind that I found a copy of Pokemon Box CIB, missing the memory card of course, but I found the copy of Pokemon Box for 500, and I even found a copy of GTA for English as well.
Alright guys, we are on the way to one more. Hard Offs close at about 8. We are here at another combo store, a Hard Off house, while they're still open. Going straight in, let's see what we can find.
On to the next Hard Off. So today we're hitting 2 of them, and the games are on the second floor on this one, so we're going straight up to the top to see what they got. Now this Hard Off is just as big, if not bigger, as the last one, and as you can tell they have some super exclusive items. That Famicom TV is among one of the hardest consoles to get in my opinion for a decent price, perfectly conditioned and working here in Japan nowadays. Here on their console cabinet they had a pretty wide selection here, and not all the prices are super high. You can see they got some pockets in the back, just need a little screen tune up. They got some advances for a decent price as well. SPs, even a micro in there, some DSIs, honestly a really big selection of DSs, some PSPs, a couple Vitas in there, Switch accessories, got a whole Dreamcast down there at the bottom too. Taking a look at their games, they have a pretty big Switch cabinet, they have a nice 3DS selection, and they have a pretty good selection of PSP games as well. Go ahead and stop the video if you need to, that way you can zoom in and take a look at some of these titles, that way you can see if there's anything you're looking for. Now this video was taken a few months ago, so these items won't be up to date, but this is just really to give you an idea of what some of these stores are looking like. Now at these stores, my favorite sections are the junk section. Back at the best section of the store, the junk section, let's get it. Going straight in guys, you see what you're looking at. You got a cabinet right off the bat. Now I'm a huge fan of vintage Apple products, and as you can tell, they got some iPads, they got some iPods, they even got a mini in there as well. You really never know what you're gonna find in the junk section, especially in the cabinets. Now I ended up picking up the gold iPod Touch. They also do have some iPhones up here as well, so if you come to Japan and you need a cheap phone just to get you by to make your calls and do your Suica purchases, you could always pick up a cheap iPhone here from the junk cabinet. Just a little suggestion for you. Going into the games, they had that box Vita, they have some loose here. I mean, it honestly had a decent selection. That pocket was probably the coolest and most attractive item to me in this case. However, when I did look at that pocket, I asked the worker to go ahead and show it to me, and it had more problems than I knew how to take care of, so I wasn't able to fix it, and I went ahead and left it in the cabinet. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. Like I said, don't be afraid to go ahead and ask someone to help you out and show you the item, that way you can check it out to make sure if it's something that you want to buy, because the workers many a times are happy to. Also, anything in the junk section tends to have these labels on them that you can see. The green at the top, it has a little bit of text, and that text will tell you what's wrong with the item. So if you use Google Translate on your phone, you can take a picture of this price label, the little green and white tag, and translate the text to English or whatever language you speak, That way you can read what the defects are on the console immediately before even having to ask the worker. That's what I tend to do. That way I read the label, make sure I'm okay with what the defects are, and then I power it on or ask the worker to go ahead and show me the item. That way I know I'm seriously interested in the item. That way they're not trying to explain to me what the defects are. It's a great method. Highly recommend y'all doing that as well. Now, they had boxes of bulk controllers, but most notably they had a complete brand new inbox DualShock. It's always nice to see one of those. They had a ton of different electronics. They had receivers. They had a bunch of generalized cords, adapters, AV cables. That's what's good about these junk sections. If you have some type of electronic that you're missing a cable for, almost 9 times out of 10 you can find it here in the junk section. Now, this store also had a crazy guitar selection, all the way from acoustics, like you have this Hummingbird right here on the Epiphone side, some really nice dreadnoughts, and a ton of different electrics. They literally had 2 separate guitar sections at this store, and when you're walking over, there were some iPods on the left, some other electronics facing you on cabinets as you walk by. Look at the price of those 2 guitars. That alone tells you you're looking at something special, even if you don't know exactly what you're looking at. I mean, 1.5 million yen, that guitar is insane. I couldn't even tell you exactly what vintage Gibson model that is, but I want to say maybe 135, just a random guess. You tell me in the comments below if you got to this point. But looking at the wall, guys, it is absolutely mind-blowing, some of the axes that they have here. You got Melody Makers, you got Flying Bees, and even back behind the shelf right there, there's just guitars tucked beside. You got the Yamaha SG, you got the Gibson Robot right there, Les Paul. So many different Strats, so many different makes. Got a left-hand Telecaster right there. The guitar section was honestly just mind-blowing at this place. And the acoustic section beside this electric section spanned 2 aisles entirely by itself. That Super Mini Fernandez was super cool too for 74,000 yen. I really like those pocket guitars. A lot of them feature very good performance as well. And this was their version of the junk section for the guitars. Now, this store is absolutely huge, guys. You can't sleep on it. There's a lot to see, and anytime I do these walkthroughs, I do my best to show you as most as I can. But I highly recommend, if you guys ever make it to a hard off, that you take your time to go ahead and walk through the entire store. If you make it to Japan, please, for me, visit one of these stores. The camera case is always incredible. You can't ever sleep on a camera case at a hard off. If you're a Canon, Lumix, Sony, Pentax, whatever user you are, you're gonna find some cameras and accessories here that you're probably gonna want to buy. They had a couple different Lumix lenses I was interested in, and here they also did have a GX7. For the longest time I've been looking for a GX8, X5, or a GX9, so to see this 7 here was pretty cool. Went ahead and took a picture of it because it was a rather affordable price. I have been also looking to upgrade the GoPro for a DJI Osmo, and they didn't have an Osmo here, but they did have another GoPro, so it's always good to see some action cams in the case as well. Now, they don't just have DSLRs and mirrorless cameras and action cameras, they also do have film cameras as well. Last but not least, the only section I haven't covered in this specific store is gonna be the designer. So of course we gotta check that out. Taking a look at their cabinets, you can tell they have a really wide selection of purses, backpacks, shoulder bags, windbreakers, jackets, wallets, keychains, passport holders. You got different brands like Chanel, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Coach, and they also do have lower end brands too, like Mimi, Vera Bradley, Michael Kors, and they have those in the bulk section. You can't sleep on the bulk sections here. A lot of the bulk sections also do feature some of the designer items that were just not fit in the cabinet because they didn't have enough space, or the quality of the second-hand condition wasn't as good as they'd like to use to represent in their cabinet. In the center cases, they had a pretty wide selection of watches. Funny enough, I never found an Invicta watch the whole time I was in Japan. That's the brand of watches that I wear. But they did, however, have a pretty good selection of optics, umbrellas, hats, and belts. And right next to that, they had a pretty good selection of designer shoes as well. You can't sleep on these hard off stores for the designer stuff, guys. I have a lot of this stuff that people have traded in that is in great condition that you just won't find anywhere else. From briefcases to shoulder bags, newer collections or older collabs, anywhere from Supreme to Louis V to Murakami to Bottega. They really do have a little bit of everything here in these hard off designer sections. Now they also do have a tremendous amount of bulk shoes. I mean, from anything of your standard Nike models to your Jordan main lines like a Jordan 11, some Tims, some Huaraches, any type of Adidas like a Stan Smith for an example, any type of running shoe like a Brook, Hoka. They really do have it all in these designer sections. That's actually where I got those shoes I just showed you, some 720s I got from another hard off. They had a pretty good selection of jackets here too. That's why I also say anytime you come to Japan, pack light, because you're gonna want to buy more stuff in these sections here. Vapor Maxes are some of my favorite shoes, and these were a hybrid right here that had the plastic overlayer, Gore-Tex style, and they were Vapor Maxes, so it's always nice to see a pair of those. Here are the bulk sections for the designer I was talking about. You can find things here like Gucci, Coach, Louis Vuitton, older collabs. You'll be able to find some stuff here that isn't in the best condition, but it's still going to be a pretty good condition. Some of the stuff, they just put it out there because they simply don't have room for it in the case. But there's really a lot to look at these stores. No matter what gender you are, if you like secondhand items, you'll be able to come in here and have a blast. No matter what type of items you have interest in, you're probably going to find something that you like here. And I know if you're a Coach fan or a designer fan in general, you're probably going to lose your mind in these sections. Before I go ahead and wrap up this video, let's go ahead and walk around the store a little bit more, just so you can get an idea of what else you'll see here on the first floor of this hard off. Now, it really is a wide variety of items. It's not just going to be designer stuff. It's not just going to be hype appeal clothing. You're going to have different stuff like basic t-shirts, generalized thrift wear, basic shoes and boots and caps, stuff that you could just use on a daily basis. You even have things like fishing gear. You have suitcases and luggage. This is one of my favorite parts about hard offs, because if you end up buying too much stuff when you're around down shopping in Japan, you're going to want to pick up an extra suitcase or two. And the prices you see downtown in Tokyo, Shibuya, Akihabara, or downtown Osaka, Kyoto areas for a price of luggage are pretty outrageous compared to what you can get a good deal for here in the hard off stores. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching another one of my hard off store walkthrough videos. Today I took you along for a journey of two complete entire different hard off walkthrough tours. Everything from hard off video games, shoes, toys, collectibles, designer clothing, electronics, even as you're seeing now, appliances. You can really find it all at hard off. If you ever have the privilege of making it to Japan, I highly recommend you check out one of these stores. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, chances are you'll probably like these two as well. And until next time, I'll be out this thing. Peace!